Hello and welcome. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and you're watching a special broadcast on DD India on the occasion of Teachers' Day. We are celebrating the winners of the National Teachers Awards, and there are 47 of them. They come from all corners of India. Each one of them has made their own little but significant contribution towards shaping the careers of students. And we at DD India salute them for their dedication and devotion in pursuit of excellence. Right, over the next 1 hour, we'll give you a complete lowdown on all the events related to Teachers' Day. I'll be joined by two guests who will share their unique insights and perspectives on teaching as a vocation, a calling, and a truly noble profession. All right, let's get started. Let me first lay out the thought behind celebrating Teachers' Day and how it came about. Now, Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th September in memory of the late President and academic Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. 5th September is the birth anniversary of Dr. Radhakrishnan. On this day, we honor teachers for their selfless service. Now, before we proceed any further, take a look at the next report that we prepared just for you, the viewers. It tells you about the origin and history of Teachers' Day. Take a look.
National Award to Teachers was instituted in 1958 with the aim to award teachers in the primary and middle schools for their excellent work. In the beginning, the awards were held on random dates, but from the mid-60s, these awards began to be held on 5th of September, the birthday of former President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. Over the years, number of awards reached 378, and with time, lack of transparency in the selection procedure was felt, after which a change in the selection procedure was introduced. Therefore, in 2018, change was introduced in the selection process for National Award to Teachers, and the entire process was converted online and made more transparent. A web portal for inviting online self-nomination by teachers was opened, and shortlist of teachers by the Regional Selection Committee is forwarded to the State Selection Committee, which is then forwarded to Independent National Jury. The Independent National Jury then selects the best out of shortlisted candidates. Even the number of awards were rationalized to 45, where the jury can also select 2 teachers under special category for differently abled teachers. The purpose of change in the selection procedure is to ensure that better deserving, talented and teachers undertaking innovation are awarded. 153 shortlisted candidates for the National Awards to Teachers 2020 delivered a presentation in front of the jury via video conferencing, and the jury made 47 selections for the National Awards to Teachers. The awarded teachers have not only improved and enriched school education with their determination, but also helped increase enrollments, reduce dropout rates, and adopt innovative and interesting ideas to impart education. These teachers have also helped to increase social awareness amongst children, encouraged community participation, and used effective methods of communication to promote the sense of nation building in the lives of their students, resulting in the construction of a better society. Nishant Saurabh's report, TD India.
I hope the viewers joining us from outside India found that report useful. Now, coming to this morning's ceremony, President Ramnath Kovind presided over a video conference for conferring the National Teachers Awards on 47 individuals from across the country for their outstanding contribution.
शिक्षा व्यवस्था में किए जा रहे बुनियादी बदलावों के केंद्र में अवश्य शिक्षक ही होने चाहिए। नई शिक्षा नीति के अनुसार शिक्षकों को सक्षम बनाने के लिए हर संभव कदम उठाए जाने की आवश्यकता है। इस नीति के अनुसार हर स्तर पर शिक्षण के पेशे में सबसे होनहार लोगों का चयन करने के प्रयास करने होंगे। साथ ही शिक्षकों की स्वायत्तता व उनके सम्मानपूर्वक स्थान को सुनिश्चित करने के प्रयास जारी रखने होंगे।
Right. Now, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu paid tribute to Dr. S. Radhakrishnan as well. In a series of tweets, he said, and I quote him here, he was an eminent teacher, philosopher, scholar, statesman and author. His life, work and legacy will keep inspiring every Indian. Today, let us thank all those teachers who have been working tirelessly through the hardship of the pandemic to prevent academic disruption to students. Let us salute their dedication, courage and their selfless service. Unquote. And for his part, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the country is grateful to the teachers for their contribution towards shaping young minds and building our nation. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him again, "On Teachers' Day, we express gratitude to our teachers for their remarkable efforts. We pay tribute to Dr. S. Radhakrishnan on his Jayanti. Who better than our knowledgeable teachers to deepen our connect with our nation's glorious history?" During the recent Mann Ki Baat, I had shared an idea of teachers training students about lesser known aspects of our great freedom struggle. Unquote. All right, time to welcome my guests on the show. Let me introduce them to you. Joining me are two educationists, Jyoti Gupta and Neha Sharma. Jyoti Gupta is the Director Principal of Delhi Public School, Sahibabad. It's located in the Ghaziabad district of Uttar Pradesh on the outskirts of the national capital. And Neha Sharma is a principal of GD Goenka Public School, also located in Ghaziabad. Ladies, welcome to this special broadcast. Thank you for your time. If I can start with you, Jyoti Gupta, let me just ask you for your initial comments on Teachers' Day, and then we can discuss about the other facets and aspects of this occasion. How did you, for instance, or your school celebrate the occasion?
As we all know, the celebrations of Teachers' Day were a little different from the usual Teachers' Day celebrations.
Indeed, I can imagine.
The children put together a beautiful program. Yeah, but the children put together a beautiful program online for all the teachers. So all the teachers were connected online with all the students, and we organized it online, where the children sang for the teachers. They had written a special rap song for the teachers. They danced for the teachers. They spoke about teachers. They'd written poems on them, and they kept telling as to how they will not be able to do anything in life without the contribution of the teachers. They especially thanked the teachers for being the Corona warriors, because while the lockdown was there, or even now when the children are not able to come to the buildings because the buildings are closed,
right,
the schools are still working. And this kind of work was not, the teachers were not trained in this kind of online work. So they've really toiled themselves. They've toiled, creating new lesson plans, creating new pedagogies for the children, so that sitting at home they can engage the children, and they can contribute to their learning, not creating this as a 0 year. So we were together, they complimented the teachers, and they wrote 2 lines about every teacher, and they made the teachers feel so very special. So every year we celebrate the Teachers' Day. We award the teachers who have done some exemplary work in this field and in the lives of the children. So today also the children gave the e-certificates to the teachers, and the teachers really cherished that, and they've been sharing it on the social media. The parents were also there with the children. So this is the first time that the parents witnessed the bond between the teachers and the children. So every year it is between the children and the teachers, but this time it was between the families and the teachers. So the parents also complimented the teachers, and they also witnessed the ceremony. So it was special. Yes, we can keep cribbing about what we can't do, but what we did was also very, very special.
Indeed, it was indeed a special day for teachers and students alike. If I can bring my other guest, Neha Sharma, principal of GD Goenka School, Ghaziabad, into the discussion. Did the COVID-19 pandemic disrupt or dampen the spirits on Teachers' Day this year, or you think it was the enthusiasm was there for all to see?
There was a different kind of Teachers' Day celebrated this year, but the Teachers' Day celebration indeed was not the way it used to be live, face to face in years that were there. This time when the Teachers' Day was happening, initially when the plannings were started, so the children were all set to do it in a different way. They checked with us that whether we can do it virtually, we can do it online, and when they got a go-ahead from us, they were all very enthusiastically planning for something which even we couldn't imagine until it was showcased in front of us today. And honestly speaking, today when they have presented this Teachers' Day, nowhere can we kind of see that they were not able to do it really well, or because of COVID there was any sort of thing which they missed out upon. They did everything, they kind of converted everything to virtual mode. They danced, they sang, they gave us a lot of interesting titles, if I may say so. And yes, the videos, the PPTs, the graphical greetings, the virtual greetings have been pouring since morning, and this time it has been even more as compared to previous years. So children have really reinvented themselves, and they have made this Teachers' Day even more special for all of us.
Indeed. Now, now that the opening comments are there, let me just quickly cover or flag the issues we're going to discuss over the next half an hour or 45 minutes. I want to talk about innovation, initiative, use of technology, community participation or benefit to the larger cross-section of society, low-cost learning tools. Now, that's a very important facet of education today, and the evergreen focus or attention on reducing the dropout rate, increasing the attendance, and also bridging the gender gap in primary and middle schools as well. And then of course the larger issue, the big picture of curbing rote learning, encouraging creativity, application of knowledge and information, and also all-round development of a student's personality to have them a wholesome personality and not just one aspect or one facet of education. So we'll cover that over the next half an hour, 45 minutes. But if I can bring you in, Jyoti Gupta, once again. Now, your thoughts on the emphasis or accent on the new normal, so to speak, and that is e-learning, virtual classrooms. Is this the new normal, or you think this is a temporary phase which will pass over in the next few months?
Frankly speaking, technology has been here for a long time.
Right.
And we were always debating how much technology is enough technology for the children, because we were debating between the screen time. We never allowed the children to get the phones to the school.
Right.
The one-on-one devices also, there were some progressive schools who used the one-on-one devices because the teachers had started creating content. And we were anyways talking about anywhere, anytime learning. Come pandemic, and the schools who were ready with the technology, who had already digitized a lot of content, and even the government had taken the initiatives of starting a platform like Diksha and putting so much of content on Diksha. So there was a readiness that was there in some of the institutions. And the pandemic came in, and the people very, I would say the entire fraternity very conveniently shifted from the offline learning to online learning.
Right.
Had this pandemic come 20 years back, probably this would have been a 0 year for the children. But embracing the technology has really opened new vistas.
That's a very important point.
There is so much that is possible through technology. We've been we've been able to get in teachers not from just from the school but from across the world to the teachers. There is so much that is coming to the children today that this model of hybrid learning is always going to be there. This one-on-one learning, you know, recording while the classes is going on, giving the recording to the children, they revisiting what they have not probably understood in one time. They don't need to go back to the teacher again. They don't need to ask or go for the tuitions again. They can simply replay the entire class once again. And also the space that they are getting, they do not feel humiliated asking the teacher the question again. They can ask it, they are in their own space. So this kind of a personal space of learning, this kind of a personal pace of learning also is a new normal. And I think even when the schools reopen, this parallel of online learning is always going to be there. The benefits that we have seen of the online learning, I have seen the children through the Diksha platform even access the content, or they have been able to download the app in the remote areas also, because there is very little bandwidth that is required for them to download. All the NCERT books have been converted into digital platform. There are energized textbooks. They can only scan the QR code and they get the entire textbook. Then the entire teaching and learning platform is there for free for the usage of the teachers and the children. So this is going to be the new normal, where both the offline and online are going to go hand in hand, and this hybrid form of synchronous and asynchronous form of learning is going to be the future.
Right. Neha Sharma, Jyoti Gupta seems to suggest that this is here to stay and that this will not go away very quickly. Now, if I were to ask you, how difficult was it for you and your colleagues in school in particular to adapt, to adjust to this so-called new normal? What did the stakeholders have to do about it? For instance, as you as a principal, teachers, students and parents as well.
Well, so here I definitely second to what just Jyoti Gupta ma'am said, and indeed this has become a new normal, and by now definitely teachers have more or less adjusted to the whole thing. But initial days were really tough. The teachers who were just using mobile phones for taking calls or calling up people were simply asked to use it as the tool. When lockdown happened, the online classes started all of a sudden, and they definitely were not having enough time to procure a proper device. So whatever was available at home became their tool, their mode of instruction on the online platform. Now when it happens, see, when we talk about teachers, we have got young blood in teaching profession, as well as we have got veterans, and the veterans who are kind of, you know, staying very away from technology even in their normal lives. For them this was much more of a challenge, and I must appreciate, and especially today on this very special occasion of Teachers' Day, that I think they are truly deserving a big applause for that matter, lot of appreciation for simply taking it up in such a beautiful, in such a wonderful manner that children were made so comfortable in the classroom that there was no so-called, if I may say, learning loss, or there was no learning gap which happened because of this lockdown thing. But the challenge is this: we are talking about places where devices were available. There are parts of the country where the devices are not available. Even if devices are available, the net connectivity, internet became a very major kind of mode of transmitting the entire online class thing. The bandwidth availability, and then when all of a sudden the pressure came on the bandwidth, in our house, if there are 4 children, I mean, every child needed a device, every child had classes on the same time. So there was definitely a lot of struggle, a lot of complaints that were coming from the end of the parents. But then here I would definitely place on record and would just kind of bring in what just Jyoti ma'am said about Diksha platform.
Right.
So this initiative of MHRD, or sorry, I'll say now Ministry of Education, came in as a very, very helpful medium for all across the country, the teachers all across the country, and for the children as well. And we definitely got a lot of support from various programs which were relayed over the television and on the mobile phones and various platforms and websites. So this somehow helped in covering up whatever was the gap.
Right.
And this somehow definitely also helped teachers to become very, very tech savvy. And this they explored, they experimented, and the teachers were not even typing a regular mail on a regular basis, are suddenly making videos, making PowerPoint presentations, and anything and everything that they can do to make children comfortable with this new kind of learning. So I think a lot of changes have happened in these couple of months, around 4 or 5 months, and teachers are indeed to be given all thumbs up for having adapted so well for this new normal.
Indeed, thumbs up to all the stakeholders, be they schools, teachers, students, or even parents for that matter. We have a fascinating conversation going on here, and I'll ask both my guests to stay on. I'll come back to you momentarily. But for now, I will want to talk a bit more about this morning's ceremony. Now, the Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said on the occasion that India has a rich and ancient tradition of the teacher-student relationship. He said that behind every successful disciple stands a teacher. Listen in.
अवसर पर जबकि इस देश के महान दार्शनिक भारत के पूर्व राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन जी के जन्मदिन पर अध्यापकों को राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया जाता है। मैं पूरे देशवासियों को और शिक्षक समूह को मैं बहुत सारी बधाई और शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूं। गुरु शिष्य परंपरा हमारी पहचान रही है। बड़े से बड़े पद पर सुशोभित व्यक्ति भी अपने गुरु के चरणों में वंदन करता है। निश्चित अच्छे जीवन के लिए अच्छे शिक्षक का होना जरूरी है और हर गुरु का इतिहास एक शिष्य से जुड़ा है और हर सफल शिष्य के पीछे अवश्य एक गुरु खड़ा है।
And Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank shared a separate message on the occasion of Teachers' Day. He said teachers are heroes in the times of COVID-19.
मैं शिक्षक दिवस के अवसर पर आप सभी को बहुत सारी बधाई और शुभकामना देना चाहता हूं। मैं समझता हूं कि हम सब के जीवन में शिक्षकों की बहुत ही अहम भूमिका रही है। हमारे भारत की संस्कृति में कहा गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर् विष्णु गुरु देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। गुरु का शीर्ष स्थान रहा है क्योंकि गुरु रास्ता दिखाने वाला गुरु, अज्ञान के अंधकार को मिटाने वाला गुरु, हर विपरीत परिस्थिति में ताकत देने वाला गुरु। मैं तो ये देखता हूं कि जब पूरी दुनिया कोरोना काल की बाहर संकट से गुजर रही थी तब मुझे लगता है कि हमारे देश के शिक्षकों ने एक योद्धा की भूमिका निभाई। बच्चे को किस तरीके से ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन दे करके और अभिभावक और अध्यापक ने मिल करके 25 करोड़ 30 करोड़ 33 करोड़ छात्र छात्राओं को ऐसी स्थिति में संभाला जबकि लोग घरों पर कैद हो गए थे। हमारे देश के महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी जिनको अभिनंदित कर रहे हैं, राष्ट्रीय सम्मान से जो सम्मानित हो रहे हैं, उन सभी अध्यापक भाई और बहनों का मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं। और इससे पहले जो भी इस राष्ट्रीय सम्मान से सम्मानित हो चुके हैं उन सभी अध्यापक गण को भी मैं अभिनंदित कर रहा हूं, उनको साधुवाद देता हूँ, उनको बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। और मुझे भरोसा है कि जो हमारी नई शिक्षा नीति आई है वो गुरुजन के ही आशीर्वाद से वो अंतिम फलक पर पहुंच करके और शिखर को चूमेगी। एक बार मैं शिक्षक दिवस के इस पुनीत अवसर पर, प्रेरणा के दिवस के अवसर पर, जो हमारे लिए पवित्र दिन है, जो हमारे लिए प्रेरणा का दिन है, जो हमारे गुरुजनों को अभिनंदित करने का दिन है, इस अवसर पर मैं आप सबको बहुत सारी बधाई देता हूँ।
Now, I want to take a moment to recognize and applaud the 47 winners of the National Teachers Awards this year. You'll find their names and photographs on the left side of your television screens throughout this program. But here are some winners sharing their thoughts in their own words. Take a listen.
যেহেতু শিক্ষকের এটা সবচেয়ে বড় সম্মান, আর একটু স্বপ্ন থাকে কোনো শিক্ষকের যে আমরা এটা অ্যাওয়ার্ড পাবো, আমি পেয়েছি, তার আমি খুবই খুশি। তারপরে একটু মাস্টার প্ল্যান চেক আউট করলাম, তারপরে আমি একটু একটু করে ডেভেলপমেন্ট কাজ করতে আরম্ভ করেছি। আর আজকে আলটিমেটলি ये হলো कि 2019 সালে আমার স্কুলকে পশ্চিমবঙ্গে সেরা স্কুল হিসাবে স্বীকৃতি হলো আর জেএমনি রায় পুরস্কার দেওয়া হলো। সঙ্গে সঙ্গে আমার 2019 সালে আমাকে এজ এ সেরা শিক্ষক হিসাবে শিক্ষারত্ন পুরস্কার দেওয়া হলো।
The credit of the whole teaching community of this area, of the credit of my students, credit of the community members of this area. So overall, I am delighted and happy having been selected for this award.
Received the best teacher award from the national president, and I am too much honored receiving this award in the COVID situation through online. And I wish to dedicate this award to my students, teachers, colleagues, and all the teachers who are working hard in the government schools. And I wanted to thank the government for recommending me for this award. And this is because of my hard work and innovations and researches which I have carried in my classroom, and because of the technology integration into the teaching and improving the English language amongst the rural children.
This year my name has been selected for National Awards to Teachers 2020. This is the most prestigious moment for any teacher in his teaching career. I feel extremely delighted.
It is my privilege and honor to be able to share the innovative practices that the school has taken up and my journey as a school leader in transforming not only the school but community at large. I'm glad to represent the school which has won 2 national awards conferred to us by Government of India and several state awards during my tenure of 4.5 years in the school. I am very elated. It is an overwhelming moment for me to win the National Award for Teachers 2020. I'm glad that my dedicated efforts in the field of education and our team efforts as a whole have won nationwide acclaim.
I was joined this school in 2011, June 6th. When I joined, on that day, the school's condition was very pathetic. Then I decided to uplift this school, one of the best in Kerala. For that, apart from the government fronts, I sought help from the community, and now the strength is 337. Now the school is became high tech and all the modern facilities are here. Students are very happy. Now I got the award from the prestigious award, National Award for Teachers 2020. I am very happy.
I also motivate my student to study more skills about whatever the skills we can achieve from our own life, maybe through the multimedia or through the photography. Then I have done more than 22 huge sculptures with the active participation of the students. At this junction, I am extremely happy and fully satisfied in my profession, so I can also contribute a little for the art education, and it is a very rare opportunity to me. I will take it very responsible way in the future also.
Thank you, Government of India, for this lovely award. President of India, Prime Minister of India, Government of Ladakh, Government of India for this lovely award. So once again, I would like to thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Right, time once again to bring in my two guests, two very special guests, Jyoti Gupta and Neha Sharma, back in the discussion. Now, before I go across to them, I want to just quickly inform you, the viewer, about some of the commendation of these 47 winners. Jyoti Gupta and Neha Sharma, I just want to share some commendations with you as well. Now, this teacher called Manoj Kumar Lakra, he used IT in enhancing educational content for the students, and he also used it to track students digitally. So I want to ask you about innovation, the emphasis and accent on innovation in education. For instance, another teacher called Surinder Singh, he used information technology for maintaining regular attendance and to minimize dropouts by making the school atmosphere welcoming, creative and one of joyful learning. And some other teachers have used such as puppets, for instance, or audio books to make learning that much more fun for their students. So there are many examples out there among those 47 winners this year. So if I were to ask you, starting with you, Jyoti Gupta, innovation and education, does your school, for instance, take any initiative in this regard to make education fun and joyful at the same time for students at large?
Absolutely. Innovation in education is the key for teaching the children these days. We have to create an environment for the children to learn. Gone are the days when we would say that this is how we teach, so you come and learn from us. Now the teachers are not the sage on the stage. They are a guide by the side. And they have to
that's a very
motivate
quotable
the
quote
children
actually. Teachers are not the sage on the stage.
Yes, they are a guide by the side now.
Indeed.
And it's very important that teachers use the innovative pedagogies. There is a lot of emphasis on experiential learning.
Right.
Because we don't want the children, we don't want to tell the children anymore that this is the syllabus, this is the content, this is what you learn, this is what we will ask in the question paper, this is how you answer, and this is how you will get the marks. Because that leads to rote learning. We want to now tell the children that come and experience what you have to learn, and also the learning outcomes are very important. The skills and the competencies are very important.
Absolutely.
Knowledge in these days, though memorization is also a skill, but then remembering and knowledge today is not as important as creating the new knowledge is, and that is only possible if we create a joyful environment for the children, when the children will be able to relate what they are learning in the classroom, what is there in the textbooks, with the real life situation. Only then the aha moment comes for the children. Only then they feel that joy in learning. Because if we try to tell the children that this is the content and this is how you learn, they do not create any new knowledge. They are not able to apply the knowledge so gained. They are not able to reason out and analyze.
Right.
And they are not able to create the new knowledge. That is why storytelling as a pedagogy is very new these days, and we are all using it in the schools. Experiential learning, project-based learning. So gone are the days where we had the teachers write on the blackboards and the textbooks were very important. Today, communication is very important. The communication skills or communication as a competency is very important.
Absolutely.
Critical thinking is very important. The children should be able to take risk. If they do not take risk, we will never have children who would create. Our Prime Minister says, "Make in India." Our Prime Minister wants our children to be job creators, not job seekers. So that will start only in the schools when the children are able to take the risk, when they are able to create the new knowledge. So we can only do that if we leave the age-old pedagogies where the teachers were talking for 40 minutes in the classroom. So they do not have to talk for 40 minutes in the classroom. They should only talk for about 20 minutes. And 20 minutes in the classroom should be more for the discussion. 20 minutes should be divided between discussing with the children, collaboration work, differentiation, and then application of the knowledge that the teacher has given to the children in the other 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Only then the children will be able to create new knowledge. Only then they will be able to learn. Today, self-learning is more important. It is predicted that these children are going to change 7 careers in their life. If that be so, if we are trying to train them for one particular career, or if we give them only one particular skill, then we are doing a disservice to them. We have to teach them to be self-learners, lifelong learners, to gain skills, to gain competencies, so that they are able to combat any situation that comes in their way.
Right.
So technology is a big boom at this time.
Absolutely.
Technology makes them learn at their own pace, in their own space, in the way they want to learn, and the teachers are there just to guide them gently towards what they want to achieve.
Indeed, you make a number of valid points there, Jyoti Gupta. If I can come to you now, Neha Sharma, and before that, I want to cite 2 instances about 2 of the winners this year. A teacher by the name of Mr. Jain, he has innovated several teaching learning practices in the school by using school floors, walls and open spaces as tools for joyful learning. He has used the surrounding rocks and boulders as learning materials. Another teacher, one Mr. Ansari, he has put out more than 300 videos for use in the public domain, for use by other teachers and by the students of class 9 and 10. So if I were to ask you about innovation in education, has your school, for instance, taken any initiative in this regard?
You know, if we talk about innovation, we have to understand that we have to create learning spaces. We
Right.
cannot go by that same routine 4-wall classroom concept anymore, because now we have humanoids like Sophie to take over in case we are just telling children the facts. So here I would like to bring in a small little story which is about Albert Einstein when he was being interviewed by a journalist. So this journalist asked him that what is the speed of sound? On this Einstein said, well, I don't know. And the journalist was taken aback. He said, you are such a great scientist and you don't even know the speed of sound. He said that, well, I don't burden my mind, my brain with facts. For that, we have books. So in schools, we have to create learning spaces. Coming back to the innovation thing, unless we innovate, we are not passing this message to the child that, see, think differently, think creatively, check what new can possibly be done. Every child in the classroom today is a 21st century child. So they were all born in this century, but the teachers, so to say, are from 20th century. And if they keep teaching them using the tools, the methodologies, the aspects which are more from the 19th century, the 18th century, definitely will not give them that real life experience which is required. Even more so, we have to also understand that classrooms today are more dynamic. The kind of changes which are happening globally, if we are not equipping children with those changes right, we are not preparing them in the class, in the school itself, for sure there will be a misfit when they are out in the real world. And if we talk about, say, innovation, so I'll simply take this example of today's Teachers' Day, which children have put up virtually.
Right.
Now, if we talk about our IT, the computer classes, if you are simply teaching them text and then testing them and finally giving them a result with interesting grades, A, B, C, whatever, they for sure are not acquiring the kind of skills which are required to deal with technology. But in today's program, as we could see, I mean, most of the schools must have experienced this virtual Teachers' Day. They must have definitely seen children experimenting with technology with such ease, with such comfort, that it was surprising. I mean, be it creating those virtual certificates, be it making videos which were indeed a class apart. I really am thrilled to put on record that the technology, the finesse that was there in those videos, I think they were definitely a professional's work. So when they are doing things, they are learning better, and this is the learning which is going to stay with them.
Absolutely.
So innovation is something now the teachers also have to understand, that until and unless they bring in something new in their class, the child is not going to, as it is, if we talk about today's generation, their attention span is lesser than of that of a goldfish, which is technically of 7 to 8 seconds.
Right.
So now if you are not able to take them, by whatever you are bringing to the class, if you are not able to take their attention towards your whatever you are teaching, whichever way you are teaching, for sure they are not going to stay interested in whatever learning you are trying to share with them, whatever you want them to learn. Also, this is the time when teachers have to kind of understand that their roles have altogether changed. They are no longer teacher, they have to be co-learners. They have to be co-creator of learning with the students, because many things even teachers won't be knowing. So there they have to take this very humbly and
so as you say, Neha Sharma, teachers should be co-learners as well. And as Jyoti Gupta said before, that the teachers cannot any longer be seen as the sage on the stage. I'll come back to you momentarily, but there's some more information I want to share with our viewers. Now, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said the new education policy was a revolutionary idea. It was 34 years in the making. He was addressing a Teachers' Day function at the Parle Tilak Vidyalaya in Pune. The minister said the policy aims to increase the gross enrollment ratio by 50%. He said the policy would boost the government's Self-Reliant India campaign by putting emphasis on research and innovation.
The education policy is a revolutionary and futuristic policy which will prepare the student to take up the challenges and exploit the opportunities presented by 21st century. And in that, we have definitely taken note of early childhood education, curiosity-based education, inquiry-based education, and then flexibility in education, in-depth knowledge. We want to prepare teachers also with 4-year integrated B.Ed courses. The policy lays emphasis on foundational and numerical literacy. It will reduce curriculum but improve the ability to comprehend and analysis. Critical thinking is the force, and the scientific temperament is the base of this policy.
And Minister Javadekar also paid tribute to Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan on Twitter. He said, and I quote him here, "Congratulations and best wishes to all the countrymen on Teachers' Day. 1 crore teachers from school to university of the country make the next generation competent," unquote. And Home Minister Amit Shah paid tribute to Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan as well. He greeted the teaching fraternity on the occasion of Teachers' Day. Right, I still have with me my two very special guests, Jyoti Gupta and Neha Sharma. Now, I want to go across to them one more time on this discussion. National education policy. Now, I want your views on the way forward from the perspective of schools, all the stakeholders, schools, teachers, students, parents. Your thoughts, starting with you, Jyoti Gupta.
So, National Education Policy is a transformative document. It is one of the best documents that I have come across in the recent times. It was a long overdue, but we in our teaching fraternity are really excited about this transformational change that is going to come into the education space for the schools. It's there for the higher education also, but there are a lot of things that are in store for the children. Children being our nation builders now will be able to compete with the best minds and the most brilliant children across the world. And this NEP is going to help the schools to prepare the children as global citizens. It is going to make them, I would say, have their roots firmly in their own country, where there is a lot that has been done in that context, and they are going to get the wings to fly and do their best in the world. There is a lot that is being said about the curricular changes, where there are going to be 4 frameworks that are going to be that are being worked on. The framework for the ECCE, which is for the first time that this age group of the children, that is from 3 to 6, which is coming in the fold of the formal schooling. And then there's going to be a framework for the school education and for the adult education also. So there is a lot of expectation from the NCERT, which is going to come out with the curriculum in the next probably a year or so. Then they will write the textbooks, and the schools are going to implement that. Not just that, there is a lot of stress on the new pedagogies. Again, like we were talking about the experiential learning, competency-based learning, stress on the learning outcomes, stress on the skills and the competencies. So it is all mentioned in the new education policy. And just like our Honorable Minister was saying, there's a lot of stress on the innovation, on creativity, on experiential learning, on research work, inquiry-based learning right in the school, where the children are going to be not curbed on the curiosity. So the teachers are going to build on their curiosity, are going to build on their inquiry. So there is a lot that is going to change in the classrooms. There's a lot of stress that has been laid onto the technology. So the coding is going to begin very early in the lives of the children, because the technology is here and we cannot ignore it. So the children will learn coding, and through coding they will learn a lot in mathematics, they will learn a lot in logic. So there is a lot of stress which is given to the skill education, and the children can take up the skill education. There is no division between the skill education and the so-called the academic subjects. They are all going to be taken together. The vast plethora of subjects that is going to be offered to the children, the interdisciplinary approach. So there are a lot of exciting things that are there in the new education policy. The teacher education, the stress that has been laid on the teacher education, the teacher training, and the government is going to come up with the curriculum on the teacher education also, which is long overdue, because we have been training our teachers in the archaic form, but with the new pedagogies coming in, I think the teachers also need to be taught in a different manner, so that they can actually make a difference in the lives of the children. And then of course there is a stress on new pedagogies like storytelling as a pedagogy, use of toys in education.
Right.
So joyful learning is something that is a part of the NEP.
Indeed, as
so
you said,
a lot of,
training
and
the
then
trainer
there
or
is
teaching
a
the
change
teachers
expected in the
forms an
assessments.
equally important component of this new education policy. I'm running out of time, so very quickly, if I can go across to Neha
Absolutely.
Sharma one last time on the discussion. Your thoughts on the education policy, specifically in terms of the emphasis on curbing rote learning, encouraging critical thinking, scientific temperament, and as Jyoti Gupta said, teacher training in particular. Neha Sharma, very quickly, your thoughts.
Right, so I think it's a very well-crafted policy, and which definitely lays lots of emphasis in bringing in the thinking skills. The thinking skills are essential if we really want a progressive country, a progressive India. And the most beautiful thing that I like about this policy is that it talks very strongly and very clearly about India, Bharat.
Right.
So bringing in those values and also touching upon, say, if we talk about our heritage, we belong to a country which was already having richness in terms of science, innovation. Pick a field and we were at the top, if I may say. I mean, we were just the leaders in every sphere. So we have to, in case we want to bring that glory back, we have to ensure that we nurture more innovators, more inventors, more discoverers in our classroom, and we should not shy away from learning newer things. If we talk about learning, there's no end to learning, and there are so many newer domains that we are yet to explore. So I think this policy is very flexible, and it gives the teacher the liberty to explore a lot more beyond the regular textbook.
Indeed, so there is no end to learning, says
it gives them
Neha
opportunity
Sharma.
to learn.
On that note, I want to
and
thank both my guests, Jyoti Gupta and Neha Sharma, for sharing their insights on this occasion of Teachers' Day. Thank you both for sharing time and making time to be on DD India and sharing your insights with our viewers in India and around the world. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Now, moving on for now, Indian playback singer Asha Bhosle has extended greetings on Teachers' Day. In a tweet, she said, I quote her here, acknowledging the creators of knowledge and wisdom today who give us the stepping stones of our lives, teachers lay down the foundations for our character, outlook and temperament in life, and we should be ever grateful to them, unquote. Now, the day is an occasion for people from all walks of life to remember, recognize and reward teachers, and sportspersons are no different. Every sportsperson has a teacher, mentor or coach. Here are some sports personalities paying tributes to their teachers. Take a listen.
Hi everyone. I would like to wish all the coaches, gurus and teachers a very happy Teachers' Day. And on this special occasion, I would really want to thank Gopi sir and his team of coaches at the academy who helped me achieve whatever I've achieved in my career, and they've been very supportive, and they always took good care of me, and I'm very thankful to all of them.
All the teachers are very much respected as like our parents, and they are building blocks of our life. So on this occasion of the Teachers' Day, this is an opportunity to pay tribute to all the teachers and the coaches for their selfless efforts, who never consider us less than their own children while teaching and guiding us.
Teachers are the founders and backbone of the society. They are the mentors who play a vital role in identifying the skills of their students and mold their attitude, and it is the time to reciprocate and respect them. On this occasion, I salute the entire teaching fraternity for shaping the country's youth.
Hi, I'm Jaspal Rana. On a Teachers' Day, I'd like to thank all my teachers, school, college, my coaches from abroad, from India, Special thanks to my father, who was my friend, who was my teacher, who got me into shooting, who did my basic training, basic knowledge of shooting.
So this Teachers' Day, I would like to dedicate it to my first guru, in fact, who taught me how to hold a rifle on day one. And his name is Akrur Raut. He's not anymore with us, but still his memories and every feeling I have for shooting actually started with him, and I want to dedicate today's Teachers' Day to him.
September 5th is the designated Teachers' Day, but as far as their influence on you is concerned, that will always be there all through your lives. Every day of our life we'll have to be thankful for our teachers, because they were the ones who molded you when you were young and taught you a lot of useful lessons which will last you all through your life.
I would like to thank each and every teacher who's played a role in my life. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being the guiding force in my life. But I would especially like to thank my shooting guru, my coach and my mentor, Laszlo Susak. A very happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers of the world.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikhil Zari, Indian boxer. As you all know, today is Teachers' Day, and I would like to send my love and best wishes to all my teachers and gurus, as they are the ones who supported and inspired me continuously to help me strive for my goals. Thank you for putting all your efforts and believing in me. I wish all the teachers out there a very happy Teachers' Day.
I would like to thank all the teachers from the bottom of my heart for giving me guidance, help, motivation, encouragement through thick and thins of my career. Once again, I would like to thank all the teachers and wish them happy Teachers' Day.
And that's a wrap, but news continues here on DD India. You can catch all the latest updates on our social media, mobile and digital platforms. Once again, wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day and a big thank you to all the teachers from all of us here at DD India. We leave you with a beautiful song rendered by famous singer Hariharan as a tribute to his guru. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Krishnani begane baro, Krishnani begane baro, begane baro, mukhavanne tora, begane baro, mukhavanne tora, Krishnani begane baro, Krishnani